Hey everybody, Aaron Blaze here. It is Friday, April 24th, and we are still quarantined. Awesome.
Everything is awesome.
But we're having a good time. Um, Today's just going to be a short one. It's going to be very short, actually. But I want to show you, I think this is going to be really cool. You guys are going to dig this. We're building a new room in the back, and I had some boxes back there, and I went through some of the boxes and found some old stuff from Disney, some other stuff that I had stashed away, and I found some old thumbnail drawings from some of the shots that I'd done for Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin. And so I thought it'd be kind of fun to show you guys kind of the thought process that goes into some of these shots. The shots are very minor shots in the movies, but what you're going to get to see is kind of where the acting and where the choreography is born, and it's where the thumbnail process is where we sit down and we think about what it is that we're going to do in that shot. We plan it all out, and then we use that as our roadmap to animate the shot. And so I've got several of those, about five or six, I think, and I thought it'd be kind of fun to show them to you guys. I tend to thumbnail every shot, no matter how simple it is, and so we've got a pretty good collection. But as usual, I've got Dustin here with me. There he is.
How you doing?
Hey. He's got a new camera. He likes that new angle.
I do. I really do.
We've got Nick in Sarasota, and he's going to be answering questions. As usual, I got my ice water, staying hydrated.
Stay hydrated, my friend.
And also, I want to mention, like I always do, since this whole COVID thing has happened, Nick and I have dropped our prices way down. Yeah. Yes. So that you guys can do some education of yourselves while you are in quarantine. And so, while you're practicing social distancing in your own home. So a lot of our stuff is $1. All of our Photoshop brushes are $1. Our Introduction to Animation course is completely free. We've got a lot of great things over there. So go over to creatureartteacher.com and you'll see all of our great deals. And you can come out of this smarter and a better artist, hopefully, than you were going into this. And that's the intent. Nick and I have always wanted, the whole intent of our mission statement was making art lessons and education affordable, because I think it's gotten out of hand with colleges and that sort of thing, and education shouldn't be that expensive. It's already hard enough to get the information, then use it and perfect it and become a master at it. Why should you have to put yourself in a hole trying to buy the information? So go over to creatureartteacher.com and you'll see some really great deals and some great education. It's not just me, but I've got some great friends in there that I trust very much, that we've brought in to also add their expertise in their own videos. So check that all out. So today, like I said, we are going into thumbnails. It's going to be fun. Let's see what we have there. Go to that down shooter.
Yep.
This is from Beauty and the Beast. So like I said, thumbnails. This is where we sit and we kind of figure out the posing, the attitudes, the pacing, everything. We map it all out, and a lot of times they're just little scribbles on the page, but they become a roadmap for us as we animate, and it makes the job as an animator a lot more efficient when you plan it out like that. And then all you have to do is sit down and animate what you've already figured out. If you're trying to actually animate and figure it out as you go, you're going to end up with a lot of wasted time, energy, drawings, everything else. This is, sitting down and forcing yourself to thumbnail is a great way to make yourself much more efficient, much quicker, and somebody that the crew, or that the leaders on the crew will want to have on the crew, because you're much more efficient and therefore producing more. So it's a good habit to be in. A lot of people hate doing thumbnails. But it's like I said, it's a necessary habit, and if you can do it, then you'll end up with some great stuff. But this is, if you look here, this is from Beauty and the Beast, and this is where I'm going to walk over here with Dustin, and this is where the Beast is still in the shadows, and he's come up, and Belle, there's a little scribble of Belle right here. Belle is she hasn't quite seen him yet. The torch got blown out, and there's this shot where he comes up, and there's also this shot where he slinks around in front of the camera, and then he comes around, and she's sitting right here. And so I wanted this kind of this flow happening, and you can see I worked it to get these, you know, really strong silhouettes to read. And when it came out on the film, it was actually very, very dark. Really dark. It was great dark. But I want to go ahead and play it for you, and I'm going to go ahead and talk over it. I'm going to turn the volume down because it's not as important for you to hear the volume. But I don't want Facebook tagging this or YouTube tagging this.
Copyright! Copyright! Copyright!
So I'm just going to talk over it. But this is where she comes up and she discovers her dad, and then the beast comes up and the torch gets thrown out. Papa! Oh no! So she runs over, and he's begging for her to leave.
No, I want you to leave this place.
Who's done this to you?
So this is all Mark Henn. Mark Henn animated Belle, and I animated the beast in here.
Who animated the father?
I can't remember. So here's the one right there.
I've come for my father.
So right there, let me back this up. So those two, you see how fast that went by. Those two, right here where he comes and he says, he pokes his head into the light right there. You can see that light, that shaft of light. And here is where I've thumbnailed it, right here. The shaft of light, and he comes in and he says, the master of this castle, and he moves out of the frame and shoots across. You can get that up. There we go. Shoots across and comes up on the other side.
Hang on, we'll
Oh.
pull this up there, right there.
Yeah, so he shoots across and comes up on the other side. And so if I play this again, you'll hear him say, the master of this castle. And you'll see that same silhouette, and then he comes around.
The master of this castle.
I've come for my father. Please let him out.
Smooth.
Can't you see he's sick?
And he shouldn't have trespassed here.
I've got all those drawings rough somewhere. I can't know where he says he shouldn't have trespassed here.
But die. Please, I'll do anything.
There's nothing you can do.
Okay, so that shot right there, there's nothing you can do. Can you go to the third?
The third.
Right there, that one right there. So this is, there's nothing you can do. So look how scribbly these are. But this is where she says, please, and he turns away from her right here, and he looks away, and he says, there's nothing you can do. And he turns, and he walks off, he pushes out. And so, if I play this back again, I know it's dark, but it's meant to be dark because you don't want to see him yet.
It is quite dark.
It is quite dark, you know. So we'll back it up.
Back it up.
I've come for my father. Please let him out. Can't you see he's sick?
And he shouldn't have trespassed here.
But he could die. Please, I'll do anything.
There's nothing you can do. He's my prisoner.
So that's that. So you can see, even dark scenes that seem very, very simple, I will spend a lot of time working out the choreography. There's a couple other shots. I don't necessarily have the thumbnails in here, but I've got some stories behind them. Let me show you a couple here.
Wait.
So this one, he looks over his shoulder. I've got that thumbnail somewhere, but not here.
Take me instead.
You.
Glenn Keane animated this one.
You take his place.
I want to jump ahead a little bit here.
If I...
So let's jump ahead. I want to show you some stuff. My friend Jim Jackson had something to do with this. I want to show you.
The Jim Jackson.
Jim Jackson, yes. So this is, he growls. I'm just jumping ahead here.
Maybe not.
So this is, I remember animating this one. I did this actually towards the end of the production. This one right here.
didn't get to say
And I think I talked about this one before, where it was that subtle scratch and him walking away.
But I thought,
You want to stay in the tower?
no.
Then follow me.
So this one right here, as they're walking, I've got all the roughs in here, and I actually have an entire video on YouTube, back a few videos, where I talk about animating this shot, this whole section through here with the beast, and some of the things that we did. All of this, I did this later on in the picture in the production. You know, we don't animate straight all the way through. We animate when certain shots are ready, and it's put together like a puzzle piece.
Anywhere you like, except the West Wing.
What's
And
in this?
It's forbidden.
so that cape right there, see that? And he throws it back. That was Jim Jackson, my buddy Jim Jackson. Let me show you one more time.
Jim Jackson.
I hope you like it here.
We'll let it play through.
The castle is your home now, so you can go anywhere you like, except the West Wing.
What's in the West?
It's forbidden.
That cape. So I had my friend. There it is, and he throws it back. I couldn't get it quite right, and so I had Jim put a cape on, and I videotaped him. And he spun around and threw the cape, and I used that videotape as reference, and that's how he ended up with the cape in the movie. So it's kind of cool. I lose the energy. I lose the energy I had in my thumbnail when I do the finished painting. Any tips to improve that part? Yeah, that's really tough, and a lot of people talk about that their thumbnails actually have more energy and more life in them than the finish. And I think part of that is because we tend to labor those finished drawings and try to make them perfect, and you got to try to force yourself to not labor them so much. You got to be as fresh as you can. A lot of that just comes with time and practice, and the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. That's really the best thing I can tell you. Sometimes what I like to do is take my thumbnails and I'll just blow them up, and I'll use those as part of my animation. That way I'm not losing that life, and then I can go back in and tie them down after that. That's something I do a lot with TV Paint.
And also for thumbnailing, do you thumbnail the whole story or just the key frames for thumbnail?
Say that again?
When you're thumbnailing, do you thumbnail the whole story or just the key frames?
Just the key frames, just the key poses. Yeah. And if it's complex animation, lots of action, then I'll thumbnail, you know, for the action as well. And so there'll be a lot more drawings. But if it's an acting scene where they're talking and there's not a lot of movement, then I'm really looking for the poses, and so that's what we do there. Aaron, you can use comma and period keys to scroll in between frames on YouTube. Awesome, I didn't know that. Thank you. So that's the comma and period. Oh, it's the left and right. Got it. Nick says the stream is a little laggy, especially on the overhead camera. Okay, are you noticing that?
Well, it's showing that there's no drop frames or anything.
Okay.
So I don't know what that could be causing it, but what combination of animals is the beast made of?
Oh, the beast is he's wild boar, he's buffalo, he's wildebeest, wolf. There's a whole bunch of stuff mixed in there. I'm a little laggy on there too. I can see him kind of popping around.
It's not showing any drop frames or anything on OBS, which is weird.
BS.
OBS.
So let's jump to a kind of a more fun one. This is where they sing. There's something there that wasn't there before. So I wonder if it's because I've got too many. You know what? Let me do this. Come off. I'm gonna go off. Yeah, just keep it on there. I'm gonna turn and get rid of this. Let's see if that helps.
Yeah, because
I had a whole bunch of tabs open on there.
Yes. Opening up tabs can really hinder
Yes.
the performance.
So hopefully that will help.
Here's open.
So here, this is a lot of fun. So let's look at this one. So there's a scene, there's a sequence where they're out in the snow. There's something there that wasn't there before, and he's trying to get the birds and all that. Well, I animated all of that as well. And I remember just trying to get his expressions. I wanted to make sure, because the whole movie, there's all the singing, but they're singing their thoughts. So there's actually no lip movement at all in the song. And so it really is a lot of them looking at each other and looking away and all that kind of stuff. And so there's a scene where he's trying to get the birds to eat out of his hand right here, and she shows him how to do it, and he gets really excited, and I wanted it to be like almost childlike, and you can see how many times I drew him. Let me see here. And there's a quick little drawing of a cardinal as I was trying to figure out the the birds. But you can see, the ones that I liked are the ones that I circled. And so I'd circle those, but and then he looks over at her. So you can see where I had it as 1, and then 2, he looks over at her, and then he looks back at the birds again. Oh, there's 3. He looks at her. Where is it? 3 right there. Looks at her, and then he looks back at the birds. And he's really happy. And then, that's okay. So then, over here, then in the next shot, forget I've got a lot of little nudie sketches in there as I was drawing. But, and then he realizes, no, this can't be, this isn't right. And so he looks down, kind of disappointed, like it's wishful thinking, so that's where that came from. So if I go over and play that now, you'll see all of those little sketches, how that went into this simple little shot right here. Oh, this was animated by Tom Cito, by the way. This shot where he's trying to eat the porridge. So
during that time, if you had any questions, would you relay those questions to Glenn Keane, or was there somebody else?
Yes, I would relay them to Glenn Keane. So here they are out in the snow, and he's getting the bird seed, and he gets down. And so the birds were a lot of fun to animate too. But the idea of him being this big awkward loaf, was a lot of fun to animate. But here's where she comes down to help him. You can see he looks over at him. Remember all those expressions I drew? And you'll see where he come into play. Now watch. Those are the expressions that I drew right there. And then he looks back again. And then he says, no, it couldn't be. Right there. And looks down. So all of those expressions were pre-planned before I sat down to animate. And you can see it was all done on those 2 pages of paper. I just sat down for about a day and just drew out expressions and just tried to map them out, listening to the dialogue and the music, because the music and the dialogue is done first. And I'd sit there and I'd listen, and really try to visualize what's going on in his mind and in his heart, and how is that going to manifest itself in his expression. So that, they talk about an animator needs to feel the emotion, needs to feel the character. Well, there's a lot of truth in that, because I really, especially in a song like this where there's no dialogue, it's all pure emotion coming across the face. And so you want to make sure that it reads clearly. And so in order to do that, you need to plan it and you need to thumbnail it. And so that's what I did there.
There's also this group of...
Oh, mute the music. Okay, I'll mute it when it plays.
There's this group that would...
Yes.
That looks like it's from the same scene.
Yeah, it is from the same. So that's where he looks over at her. Yeah, here's some more. So it was actually 3 pages. So this is the close-up where... Here, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So this is a close-up where he's looking over at her, and it's right before he decides, no, this can't be, and he gets sad. But you can see it's lots and lots and lots of just little sketches of trying to figure out what would be the best way of drawing him. So what do we got next? Oh, here's a little scene. This is a little shot. But you'll see that I completely changed it in the animation.
Should I show it on the overshoot? So I just pulled it up here on the overshoot here.
The downshooter?
On the downshooter, yep.
Oh, okay. So let me see if this is. There is an error. Hold on. Okay. Let me see. Is this the right one? Yeah. So here we have her, and this is just a very quick one, where she's sitting there brushing her hair, and then she gets up from her desk, and she twirls around, and her father comes walking in, and he says, And she says, "Oh, Father, I just had the most wonderful time." And so, actually, I have the thumbnails for that too, but they're in another box. I couldn't find them. But just to show you, once again, it sat down for such a simple shot. She's sitting there, she's humming to herself. This will open up. Come on, there we go. So,
Mute the audio.
yeah, we can mute the audio. Well, if I keep talking over it, it'll be fine. But they give a hug, and then we cut back to Jasmine. I actually I did all of Raja in Aladdin. I designed Raja, but here she is combing her hair. You can see we ended up changing her hair. We took it out so that she could brush it. And then she gets up and she twirls around. And I actually had some live action reference of this model that we brought in, and she gets up from the table and she twirls around. And so I watched that, and then I sketched out all the keys, and those became my thumbnails, and then I animated it in the film like this. So I did help out with Jasmine. I worked with Mark Henn. I did all of Raja, but then I also, Raja was a very small part, and then I went over and did some work with Mark on Jasmine. But let me clear this out. And there's this one here. This one got flagged. I don't know why it's saying, sorry, there's an error licensing on this video. Huh, that's weird. Because I don't, let me see what thumbnails we have after that. Oh, that one, that's not even a thumbnail. That's actually a rough drawing. There's a scene where, it's the first time we see Raja, and he jumps up into camera, and he's got a piece of Prince Ahmed's shorts, his underwear. And so this is one of the keys from that shot. I've got the rest of that shelf somewhere else, somewhere stashed away, but I found this in the box. And that's one of the main keys. So that's one of the originals.
Then after that is...
Now these are some of Mark Henn's, and for some reason, it won't let me play back this section. It was let me play it back earlier. But I just want you to see how scribbly some of these can be. Mark Henn, who's a brilliant animator, and one of the most prolific animators at Disney ever, he was in charge of Jasmine. That was his character. He designed her. And so look how quick these thumbnails are. This is where she's talking about Prince Ahmed, and Raja comes walking over. We did the shot together. I did Raja, he did Jasmine, and she's talking about how pompous he is and everything, and she scruffs Raja, scruffs him in the face and hugs him, and they both giggle. And but it's a very, very, it's very scribbled out, but it's just, you can see where he circled the ones that he wanted, and that's what he ended up using. Even if they're just little scribbles, they help roadmap everything out. And so that I thought was kind of cool.
Then after that is...
Yeah, so this one here. This one is, I like this one a lot because this one I really followed the posing. So this is after Jasmine thinks that Jafar executed Aladdin. And so the first pose, Raja comes walking up right here. This is the first pose, and he bends down and he nudges her, and then as she talks, he hits these expressions right here as she talks, and then she starts to cry, and he puts his head against her and he hugs her and he pulls her in. And I even gave myself a note. I said, brings head into her and closes his eyes. So he doesn't do everything all at once. It's something that happens, one thing at a time. And so if you see that, you'll see the posing is exactly the same in the animation. Come on, open up. For some reason it's taking forever. There we go. And so now, so she's just found out that he executed, or she thinks he executed her. Him. Iago.
So, how did it go?
I always love that change.
Rather well.
Okay, so he pauses. I remember animating this. He's walking in, then he pauses, and then he comes. He sees that she's crying, and he nudges her.
It's all my fault, Raja.
He takes the pose right there. There's,
I didn't even know his name.
and then he pulls her in tight, and rubs his head against her back. Very simple shot, once again, but there's a lot of emotion in it,
All
and
my
I
fault,
and I
Raja.
didn't want it to. I wanted the emotion to come across. My dog does this to me all the time. You
It's all
know,
my fault, Raja.
put his nudge you under your arm.
I didn't even know his name.
So Mark animated Jasmine, and I animated Raja, and I animated Raja first,
I didn't even know his name.
and so we just left space for each of us to work.
So, how did
We're
it
gonna
go?
let it play one more time.
She took it rather well.
So all of that hit
All my fault,
exactly
Raja.
exactly the way I wanted it because it was planned. That's because of the thumbnailing. I know I sound like a broken record, but for those of you that are young animators out there listening right now, I just want to tell you about the importance of thumbnailing. If we can go back to this down shooter, you can see every single one of those poses is hit in that shot. This is where he's nudging her arm, where he's listening to her, all of these, and then when he hugs her. All of this was done before the animation was done, and because I did this, because I took 2 hours out of my life to do that, I was able to animate that in about a day, and be done with it, and then move on. Yeah, Nick found the twirling animation. That's the stuff that I animated with the live action reference. But that was basically the shots that I wanted to show you. Like I said, this is going to be very quick. I'm not seeing any new questions. Are you getting questions over there?
I think I've gotten a few here and there, but did you have a certain method or anything for maintaining the stripes during the animation?
Yeah, well, one of the things for doing the stripes on Raja is I had to simplify them. Otherwise, it would have been impossible for them to not grow and slide. And so I had to go from about 50 stripes that are on a tiger down to about 10. So, and make it look like it was natural. So that was kind of tough. Shoot, the stream was taken down on YouTube for copyright violation. Doggone it. Oh well. I was trying to keep from that happening.
Are colors thumbnailed too by scene?
What's that?
Like are colors thumbnailed as well? Like all the color.
Oh no, not usually. We do what's called color models, and all the colors are figured out beforehand. So that's the thumbnailing is really done in both the animation stage, but also in the layout stage. The layout artist will thumbnail and try to find the best stage direction and everything else and work it all out. And then also storyboarding. There's a lot of thumbnailing that goes in storyboarding, and so those are the 3 departments that really use it the most. So that's where that would be. But that's a bummer. I was afraid that it might get taken down. I was trying hard to keep it from happening. I guess it was the visuals. Because sometimes that'll catch it, because I know we were talking over the top of it pretty loudly.
So when you're animating 2 characters together, you just leave the space for the other animator, or do you sometimes draw her hands or something on Raja?
Yeah, we draw her hands, and vice versa. We'll rough in the other character, and do it that way. So it's a lot of back and forth, and usually the dominant character, whoever's dominant as a character in that shot, that animator will go first, and then we'll pass it back and forth. But it happens a lot, obviously, because there's always multiple characters in a 2D animated film. Nowadays, I think most of the time in a lot of the 3D films, an animator is animating all the characters in a shot, or at least that's the way I've heard. So that's a little different than the way we used to do it. Oh, I know what I was going to show you guys. I wanted to show you as well, just kind of what we're working on right now. And if you go to my down shooter,
Down shooter?
I mean on my
your desktop?
my desktop, not my down shooter. Sorry.
Yeah, because this is the down shooter.
Yes, I got it. Yes, thank you. Got it. So we're having a lot of fun right now. I'm going through. I'm talking about harpy eagles, and you know, drawing over the top, just like I did in my other on my other how to draw animals courses, such as how to draw big cats and bears and all that stuff. I start with the bones. I like to start with the heads and skulls and talk about how we build them out. And so you can see this is a harpy eagle. This is the largest eagle in the world, native to South America, Central America, southern Mexico, and they're incredibly powerful, beautiful birds. And so we've already shot a video today where I talk about the skull structure and everything else, and how we build from the skull out, so you can understand as a viewer and as an artist what's going on underneath. So this is what we're working on right now. We're really excited about it. That's why we're trying to make this video today a little bit shorter, so that we can get back to shooting.
Short and clean.
Short and clean. Yes, there you go.
Short
And
clean, bud.
let me jump over here. I want to see if Nick had anything else. Otherwise, we'll probably just call it off. Oh, we're back on YouTube. Looks like they lifted the copyright hold. Oh, that's cool.
Oh.
Awesome. Does that mean I wonder if there's a gap in there on the YouTube video.
Maybe.
But anyway.
Why do you think animation studios don't publish more art books?
It's expensive. They, a lot of times they lose money on those art books because they put them out there, and a lot of people that are listening and watching this, all of you guys, sure, you're all interested in it, but for the general public, most people don't buy them, and so it's not worth the time for them to make them. So they lose a lot of money on them a lot of times. So
And in regards to adding Easter eggs into the shots, are you told to put those in there, or do you just put them there on your own?
no, we usually put them in on our own. It's just stuff, little jokes that we like to do and slide in. Nothing dirty though. We didn't, no one put in the sex and the dust, in Lion King and all that. That was actually SFX, which stands for special effects, who are the guys that animated the dust. And so a lot of times things just got blown out of proportion or misunderstood. And so once that happened on the Lion King, the hammer came down. They said no more hiding stuff. We did anyway. But
Because I remember there were shots like like in Aladdin, when the Sultan, he's messing around with his great tower of animal figurines.
Yeah.
Like sticking out one side is the beast.
Yeah, that's right.
In a shot like that, and then like you said, when Raja transforms, he turns into Mickey Mouse for one frame.
It does, yeah.
But when it came to stuff like the beast, like a lot of them are like very out in the open. The other ones are like you have to like stop a frame to see it. And so is that just based on the artist's idea of what they want to add to as their own Easter egg into that?
Yeah. Exactly. Let me see if I can. Let me see here.
Oh, meow.
Let me turn it down. Let me mute it so that no one can see it. Oh, the tiger. He's already
transformed.
He's already transformed. Let's see here. I gotta find it real quick. Sorry.
And regarding the shots earlier of us showing the bird heads, is this going to be a new course on birds?
Oh yeah, sorry. I'm doing a new course on how to draw birds of prey, and so right now we're doing like 13 different genuses, and so we're doing falcons, eagles, hawks, vultures, owls, all kites, all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty full.
I think Raja's not changed yet, or no, Raja has been changed.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what spot it's in. Yeah, that's. Is it here?
No, it's way further back.
Right here?
Yes.
Oh yeah, there we go. Oh, there he goes, right here. And we'll pause it. So this is where. So I guess I can use the arrow key, right?
Fortunately, I think it just. Oh wait, maybe.
Yeah. So let me jump back. So this was kind of fun. So I want to show you guys.
Full screen.
Man, it's taking. Well, not yet because it's.
I'll take it for forever.
Yeah, I'm trying to do it. There we go. So you're gonna see the dust. All the pixie dust come off. Oh, hold on. There we go. Okay, so. Oh no! Come on. Ah.
There.
Okay, here we go.
That's even better.
So, oh, I'm hitting the wrong arrow. That's what it was. These arrows. There we go. So you can see he starts to open up. There's Mickey Mouse right there.
Yeah, that is so weird looking.
So he's half cat right there, and then there's Mickey Mouse, and he's painted up as Raja. But yeah, I only put that in for one frame, and then he goes big.
Boom.
So that's how fast he goes from there to there. But there's Mickey Mouse. That was kind of funny. So then when it plays at speed, you'll see boom, they come up. It's so instantly. It just happens instantly. It's really cool. Here it is. Boom. That's it. But it was kind of cool to hide that in there, and so there's a lot of stuff like that we did all over the place.
I think YouTube cut out again.
Stream is
suspended
done on
for
YouTube,
policy
and you can
violation.
just show the actual rentable movies.
Huh?
YouTube, you can't show the actual rentable movies. Oh, okay, I
Oh.
gotcha. Well, anyway, so what? We showed it
Form of
anyway.
piracy, I think.
But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see those clips and get a sense of our thumbnailing and how all that works. And once again, going back to the Harpy Eagle right here, we are crazily working away trying to get this Birds of Prey course done for you guys. And we're having a lot of fun doing it. It's a lot of work. It's going to take a while. There's probably going to be about 30 videos in it. And
Yeah, it's going to take at least a couple more hours to make.
It's going to be a couple months. It feels like this is going to be a big one. But anyway, I just wanted you guys to see the thumbnailing and understand what it is that we do there, and then we're going to get back to doing this. So I hope you guys. Sorry it was so short and kind of clunky, but I really had a good time showing you some of those drawings. And let me jump back to here and just make sure that we're okay with Nick. I don't see any other new questions up there. Do you have any new questions over there before we sign off?
Nothing that I can see at the current moment.
All right. Well, that was a clunky one, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. And we will be back again on Tuesday at 9 a.m. So look for us then. And we're going to keep doing that until the whole Corona thing is done. And once again, I want to mention that if you go over to our website, creatureartteacher.com, you're going to find some crazy deals over there because Nick and I have lowered everything down to make it much more affordable for everyone that's going through all of this crisis. And some of you may have lost your job, so we've got free courses over there. We've got courses for $1. We've got brushes for $1. You can get in there and spend just a couple of enough money to buy a carton of milk, and you can get entire lessons. So I hope you guys go over and check it out and enjoy it. And so I hope you guys have a great weekend as well. So we're going to be just working away here the rest of the day, and like I always say, go put some beauty back into the world, and I will talk to you on Tuesday. See you then.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Glad you guys enjoyed this stream. And if you're interested in any wildlife photography, if you haven't followed me just yet, you can check my Instagram out at Dustin_Blaze. and I post a new photo each day, or at least I try my best to. And so, yeah, other than that, hope you guys have a good weekend. Stay safe. Stay isolated if you can. And we'll see you guys next week. And until then, Cowboy Bebop. See ya.